Hello, salam alaikum. How you doing, everybody? So, for the past several weeks, Somali community in America have been facing an all-out assault coming from multiple directions. But the people leading that are totally clueless. They keep trying a new method, a new something. Every single time that fails, they just move on to the next one. And Donald Trump does not tell his followers, blind followers, should I say, what his capability is. So please sit tight. Please share this because I'm about to tell you something. The real reason why ICE is going to fail miserably against Somalis. I'll tell you. It's not just ICE. Every single legal thing that they throw at Somalis is going to fail. Whether that's ICE, whether that's even the fraud itself is going to crumble. It already is. Because what they're doing is something that sells in media. It's something that can sell it to low information people. And then there is something that can stand against the test of actual court, actual legal system. Totally different things, right? Let me just give you the 101. Basically, the basics. Somalis in America, largely, and I mean, when I say largely, I mean like 99. So if you're walking around and you run into 100 Somalis, 99 of them are U.S. citizens in America. That's the odds. So for anybody to see a undocumented Somali is extremely rare. So do Trump voters know that? They don't. Today, for example, they were using, so this is what they hear. They hear, oh, Somalis did X, Y, and Z. They should be deported. They're hearing from some of the highest officials. They're hearing from the richest man on earth, Elon Musk. They're hearing that from Department of Homeland Security. They're hearing that from Donald Trump himself, who keeps saying, repeating the same thing, verbatim almost. This is basically what they say. Ilhan Omar married her brother. That's an immigration fraud. We're going to take away her citizenship. We're going to send her home. And then they'd be like, please, this is what I voted for. Please do that. Yeah, go back. That's what they're hearing, right? And some of you, I actually feel bad for you because they're starting to, that message is getting tired. They're starting to realize some of these even low information people, they're still realizing that Donald Trump is actually lying to them. That's why if you go to some of those comments, some of those posts, the comments are saying, when are you going to do it? That's a good question. When? Have you seen any Somali person, a single Somali person, deported over fraud or any of those things, or denaturalized and get some? No, you will not see any because it just doesn't work. It only works in your head and basically some kind of, racist conspiracy. That's the exact same thing people were saying about Obama. Remember, Obama was not born supposedly in America. Remember, his birth certificate was fake. Did they ever remove Obama from office? Did Obama get stopped? Did he get deported? Did he get kicked out of the White House? No, none of that happened. Why? Because none of that had basis. And this is exactly the same thing. So sending ICE, whether that's 100 ICE members or thousands, it doesn't make any difference. Who are they going to arrest? Remember, Donald Trump already did away with with the temporary protected status, and then, unfortunately, for them, right, for the Trump supporters, they think that actually applied to citizens. Because today somebody commented on my post, said temporary citizens. He just said actually temp citizens will be deportable. There's no such thing as temp citizen. You don't become an American citizen who is temporary. That just doesn't exist. It only exists in the imagination of racist, low information people. So I'm here to educate you free of charge. I'll tell you this. When people come here, whether that's, if people come here for any reason, they won't become even a permanent resident unless they adjust their status. So let's say somebody comes here as a student, somebody comes here as a refugee, all of these people, in order for them to even become a resident, a permanent resident, they have to change, or what they call in immigration, adjusting of status, right? So they have to fill out a form, Department of Homeland Security, USCIS form. That's United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. They have to fill out a form. Then they have to wait for months. It has to be adjudicated. Remember this term, adjudication, has to go through someone from Department of Homeland Security, has to actually read it. Then the story has to make sense, and the person has to be eligible for such benefit. And then they get green card. Okay, you have a green card. Then you have to wait for the period, which is 5 years, typically. Then after that, you can then apply. There's a form, another form that you have to fill out called N400, right? 400. Then you will go and get adjudicated again. All of these times, somebody said use delusional, just your religious beliefs. Okay, Willie Brown, I'm glad you're here. Please listen. You're going to get some education tonight that you probably never had. So, going back, after you go through the whole naturalization process, it's not just one and all. You fill out a very, very detailed forms. You pay money, right? Which is not cheap. It changes, but it's not cheap. I paid hundreds of dollars. Now, sometimes it's $1,000 or more. You do all of that, and then you wait. And then later on, they call you for interview. You interview, and you have to pass. You have to actually know what you're talking about. And then somebody's telling me, I don't forget about that guy. He's not even worth our time. We're dealing with the big dogs. So we're dealing with people that are actually trying to take away people's citizenship, even though they can't. They don't know how to do it legally. I'm trying to help them out. Educate the MAGA here right now. So it's free lesson. Going back. So after all of that is happened, and the person takes the exam, and then they can become a U.S. citizen when they do their oath, and they get a certificate. After that certificate, and it's very important, after the naturalization certificate, there are only very rare reasons that the person can lose citizenship. Those are if you fill out with false information. For example, you lied about everything, and then they found out that it's actually not who you are, you're saying. That could have been a reason. Let's say you were a spy for a foreign government, and you hid that, then they can take away. But you commit any kind of crime, even murder, fraud, whatever it is, those crimes do not, and I repeat, do not lead you to lose your citizenship. So this whole thing, you can do whatever. I told you. I'm not saying you should do it. It's bad. You should pay for it if you get it. You should be prosecuted. But committing a crime after you were already naturalized does not mean you lose your citizenship. So what is ICE doing with that? So let's say an American citizen who was naturalized citizen goes and shoots a person. Do you think ICE has any jurisdiction over that? Nope. Local police arrests that person. They prosecute him to the regular legal process like everybody else. That's something they don't know. These MAGA people, please listen carefully because you've never heard of this. Donald Trump's not going to tell you. Nobody else is going to tell you. You're going to be permanently ignorant if you don't pay attention to what I'm saying. So, for a naturalized citizen, if they commit a crime after they were naturalized, there is no jurisdiction for ICE or the Department of Homeland Security over them. Department of Justice may, if they committed certain crimes. The local sheriff has something to say. The local police, the DA's office, all of these are fair game. But they're not going to be deported to a quote-unquote third world country. That's what you think. That's in your head. So nobody's getting deported. Nobody. And if you think about crimes have to be proven. It's not just allegations. It's not. In America, we have something called due process. I know you hate that. I know you hate that. Steve Bannon hates that. All of you guys hate that. I know that, even though Steve Bannon himself went to jail and committed crime. So that's beside the point. Now I want to go back to something else. So what is ICE going to do? If you send them by the thousands, you're only wasting federal tax dollar money. There's no resource that needed for that to happen. Even if the crimes, quote unquote, which the likes of Nick Shirley are talking about. Now, let's go back to the actual crime. Okay, Nick Shirley goes around, right? And I just came back from Minnesota. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been to those places, to the notorious place they thought, the ground zero, if you will. Nick Shirley goes. He goes to places that are closed. He goes with a crazy, creepy camera, and he looks very suspicious. Nobody is going to let him into their business or to their premise. I would not let that guy into movie theater. I mean, honestly, if it was up to me, he looks suspicious. He is the kind of person that gets thrown out of the club, right? He's still that creepy. He's very creepy. He probably couldn't go anywhere else. He's the one who took his mom. Well, they did his prom at home. He's that creepy. He has no friends. He has nobody. He admitted that. So that's the kind of person that shows up at these daycares. No self-respecting daycare is gonna let a creepy person with camera to be anywhere near children. So he's rightly kicked out or not allowed to come in. So what does he do? He lashes out. He makes up stories. He does this. Oh yeah, all these defamation lawsuits are coming your way because they investigated actually correctly, unlike you, and they found no wrongdoing. And I repeat, no wrongdoing was found when it comes to Somali daycare businesses. And these are businesses and also community services at the same time. These are businesses that provide services, vital services to people that work, that are doing all kinds of things. So I don't want people to be thinking, oh, go ICE. Okay, what's ICE going to do? Really, seriously, what's ICE going to do? I mean, ICE, yeah, it's great. ICE, ICE, ICE. People keep saying ICE this, ICE that. So please at least study the law of the land in which you live, because it's actually embarrassing for me as an immigrant who has who went through the entire process of naturalization, to then now have to educate grown men and women who lived in this country for generations, who have no idea. I mean, it's so bad that people are saying something like temporary citizens. What the heck is that? There is no such thing as temporary citizen. Nobody is called temporary. In fact, even the residents, the green card, you know what's called? Permanent resident. Repeat it after me. Permanent resident. Do you know what the word permanent means? Do I have to now school you in the English language again? The temporary protected status, which you are mixing with the citizenship, is totally different. It's something that's given or allowed in a very short period of time for people who have come from a country which is going through something. Yes, those short period of times could be long, because so these countries could be sometimes reauthorized and what have you. But they are all something that could be canceled with stroke of a pen by a sitting president. That's not the same when it comes to citizenship. When someone is a citizen, even if you don't like them, even if they look like me, it does not mean you can take away their citizenship or rights. They're here to say. That's what I'm saying. Forget about their ability to have citizenship. You can't even take out their guns. I'm a gun owner. You can't even take away that. I'm speaking. You can't take away that. So all of these people that think simply because Donald Trump says, and nowadays they are making even oh, we discovered this person has a daycare. So, is that a crime? Is that a crime? Oh, we discovered this person has a home care. Oh, we discovered this person travels. Okay. So, I mean, are we now just because, I mean, I know that sometimes a black person driving to some people is a criminal. So now, so there's the whole concept called driving while black. Now, is it taking care of children while Somali? Is that now where we are right now as a country? We need to have a conversation about this. And we need to educate these fools, because basically what they're saying is that Somalis have no right to care for children. When Somalis, by the way, actually have children at much higher rate than the natives of this country. And I mean, like, I don't mean Native Americans, they're native born. And then I'll take you somewhere else. 60% of people that look like me with the forehead, Somalis, in this country are born in the United States. Oh, that's gonna hurt. They are native born, including my own children, including many of my friends' children. We are now, those of us who migrated here are outnumbered by our own children. Do you know what that means? So, every 10, again, let's go back to that 10. Every 10 Somali persons that you run into in America, at the airport, at the cafeteria, at the school, at the hospital, every 10, 6 of them were born in the United States. Born in these United States. The rest of them are people that have come here. So the rest 4 have come here. And out of those 4, probably 3.5 are U.S. citizens. So this whole notion that for some reason you're going to, launch Operation Ice Surge, you're only going to waste your money on hotels and food and all that stuff. And in fact, I just learned, shout out to Hilton. I'm a proud Hilton Honors member, and I've never been prouder. So I actually wanted to tell you guys, go and stay at Hilton if you are looking for a hotel. I'm actually doing a free advertisement for Hilton, because Hilton, what do they do? Something honorable. They refused to host these crazy gangsters, because that's what they are. These people that are covering their face, doing all kinds of extra, outlaw stuff, right? That's what they did. So yeah, they stopped serving ice. So let them stay in their vans. Let them maybe commute from some place that they are. Or maybe let them stay with Nick Shirley or something, because that's basically what they're doing. Now going back, Somalis in America are not going to leave or flee simply because you somehow started or decided to, quote unquote, enforce immigration law. Immigration law is law of the land. Great. Go ahead and enforce it all you want. It's just not going to be valid on Somalis because they are largely American citizens. That's exactly the reason it's ineffective for you to be dispatching thousands and thousands of ICE. You're just wasting your time. They could have been catching an actual criminal. They could have been doing something maybe worthwhile. But that's not what Donald Trump is using for. And now, Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, all of these guys are just talking nonsense. Every other word, every other day, they're saying we're going to arrest this person, we're going to arrest, and I don't see any arrests. Isn't that embarrassing for you guys? Isn't MAGA worried? And they pissed off? How many times are these guys going to lie to you and you guys are just going to celebrate as if that something is going to happen? They keep saying, we are going to denaturalize, a word that you guys probably don't even know what it means. We're going to denaturalize Ilhan Omar. Oh, these guys love that. They love hearing that. They will share it like 1 billion times. Oh, a bombshell. We just discovered Ilhan Omar married her brother. Whoa, she's an inbred. She is a United States Congresswoman, okay? She is not going anywhere. She is making your laws. She's making our laws as we speak. She is representing the United States of America. Yeah, thank you for speaking for our community. Of course, I will speak every day. We Somali Americans are taxpayers. We're homeowners. We're property owners. We're contributing members of this society, whether you like it or not. And I keep saying this. We sent Elon Musk's own Tesla to orbit. One of our own engineers did that. Okay? We have to keep reminding you guys that Somalis are probably the most productive community in America. How do I know that? We're like a few 100,000. But the entire United States government is talking about us. Do you think that's simple? Do you think that's easy? It's not. The reason we're getting that attention is because they know what's standing between Donald Trump's craziness and America is Somalis. I am so proud to be Somali right now. I'm not into this whatever braggadocious, but it is a big thing. 50 years from now, everything else is going to be forgotten, but nobody's going to forget the Somalis. They're going to know. They're going to say, oh, remember that era when Donald Trump was wilding out? You know who stopped him? Somalis. You know who he was fighting with the whole time? Somalis. And they're also going to go back in history and say, remember the guy who made billions and billions of dollars, almost $1 trillion? Elon Musk, yeah? You know who he was fighting with? A 19-year-old Somali girl, a teenage girl, right? Somali teenage girl can rattle a billionaire, almost trillionaire. Faisal says, what's the point of sending more agents? There's nothing. They can send all the agents there. It's not because of lack of agents that Somalis are hanging out. I was at the Somali mall. Everybody's chilling. People are sipping coffee, latte, eating sambus. You know why? Because there's nothing to hide. There's literally nothing. So call ICE, all the ICE in the world. Waste money. That's the only thing that bothers me because I'm a U.S. taxpayer. I pay money. I pay real money, unlike some of these people, right? And I know a lot of the people that are just now sitting behind a keyboard, they don't even have health insurance. They're losing health insurance because Obamacare subsidies are expiring. How do I know that? Because red states, aka where Donald Trump voters live, are receiving the highest amount of money from the government to subsidize their health care. And that's stopping, unfortunately, stopped. You are going to be suffering without health insurance. So you are one sickness away from bankruptcy. One sickness. Okay, I'm going to switch into Somali. I'm done with English right now. A number of people are asking me to switch in Somali. Because I'm proud of my heritage, I will switch. Akhyaarta, soo dhawaada. Cunsuriyiinta meel aan saaray. Af Soomaaliyan ku hadlaaya. Dad ayaga codsaday. Waxaa jiro warbixin soo baxday oo dhehayso waxay soo dirooyaan kumanaan kun oo ice Maxamed Cabdullaahi waa ku salaam. Khayrto idin salaam. Fadlan share gareeya barnaamijkan. Maxaa yeelay hadda waxa waaye cunsuriyiinta waa naga dhameeyay anaga Soomaaliya idin asla sheekaysanayno. Waxaa la soo dirooyaa dad tiro badan oo ice laakiin ice ka sababta loo soo dirooyo iyo wax ay sameyn karaan waa kala duwan yihiin. Waa show. Maxaa yeelay Soomaalida 60% horta intayba ku dhasheenba. Inta kala soo hartayna waa dad sharci haysto. Marka wax yar aad joogo oo walaalaheen darbi kabood darbi kaboodkana waa fahmeen hadda shaxda badankood meelay ku kala dhuuntaan ay yaqaanaan. Cid banaanta taagan oo la qabanayo oo lagu qaldamayo ma jirto. Marka hadda aysa sheegtay wax kasta hadii la soo faranjeerka dhanba hadii la keeno wax ay qaban karaan iyo cid ay xiri karaan oo ilaahay uu inta male meelay iska taagnaan maanta dana maxaa ku dhacay mataqaana hotelka loo yaqaan Hilton oo hotel caana Hilton bas ma asiga Hilton hotel badan oo maamula Hampton iyo balaadan oo maamula isha kwaan la yiraahdo embassy suite waxaas ma saa maamulo hotelkaas wuxuu yiri waa idinka joojiyaa la yiri ice dambe waxa la yiri xitaa dad lacagta bixinaysiin maday kartiin hotelka department hay'adii amniga qaranka xanaaqsan adhayso waana loo diiday hotel. Can you imagine ka waran adigoo wadankii dhan awoodiisa haysto in maanta hotel xun lagu diido? Anigaan waxaan sameyn karo oo aysan ayaga sameyn karin. Soo dulinimo ma waxaas yaa baday. Soomaaliya baday. Soomaali baday inkastoo Soomaali bas hortay dad kale la dagaalamayeen. Soomaaliya taariikhan sameynayna. Waxaan u jeedaa dad xoogaa jileec laga arkayo. Anaga la aamuso yaana lala hadlin warwar midin sheega dadkan waxay wax ku leeyihiin inaa iska dhicisid weligaa ha cabsoonin bini aadanka waxay qofkii ishiisa laga arkaa maxaa la yidhi ushiisa lagu tumaa ishiisa laga arkay ushiisa lagu tumaa yaana laga arkin ishiina fulaynimo marnaba qofka Soomaaliga fulay ma aha qofka Soomaaliga asagoo waxba haynin xitaa waana isku qanacsan yahay waana isku faraxsan yahay marka waa inaan arintaas tusnaa hadda maxaa kale leeyihiin ma taqaanaa ninkii la dhahay Elon Musk oo adduunyada wuxuu hanti haysta iyo awood aragteen waxaa ka cabaajisay gabar yar oo Soomaali ah wallahi gabar yar oo Soomaali oo maanta wuxuu leeyahay alla saasay itiri alla waa dhimanaysaa itiri oo waa dhimanaysaa day tiraahdo hadda qof Soomaali cunug 15 jir hada ku dhaad waa dhimanaysaa hore ka kaco ku leeyahay adiga adaa dhimanaha ku leeyahay hadaan dhimanana ma akhira anaga naga xigtaa ku leeyahay laakiin ninkan waa wasqaan xun waa doqon waa fulay dhimashadoo goorba ka baqa ayadana waa xasuusisay xoogaa yarna cusbay ugu sii dartay waxay tiri waana fool xunta taasaa xoogaa sii jibisa umanayna ninka cuqdadu qabay waa cuqdad waxa soo hanti haysto iyo waxba uma tarayso cuqdada ku jirto gabadhiina marka way aragtay cuqdadii kula garaacday marka fiiri Soomaaliya hadda waxaan ka soo noqday aniga magaalada Minneapolis waxaan ku soo arkay idin sheega wallahi Soomaalida Minneapolis joogto waxa ay Donald Trump uga cabaajiyeen hadda ogaad war meel kasto tagtid baabuur qurxanay wataan guriyo qurxanay ee degan yihiin hantidooda isma taqaano meel kasta ka shaqeeyaan dhaqaatiirta ha dhihin booliiska ha dhihin meel kasto ayaga kaaga soo horbaxayo qofkii shan ganacsi oo leeyahay waxaasay ka xanaaqsan yihiin ganacsiyadaasay ka xanaaqsan yihiin shaqadaas iyo hantidaas Ilaahay isku kor saaray iyo irsaaqadaas oo Ilaahay siiyay ay ka xanaaqsan yihiin hadaa faqri tahay oo aad gacanta hoorsanaysid waa lagu rabaa waxa lagu leeyahay ha waa masaakiintii xumeed laakiin Soomaalida qofka Soomaaliga waa itu suuqa itus waay yaana la idin sheegin yaana la dadkan kale u jeedin oo dhan waa iska shaqaale masaakiin waa Soomaaliga waa imaanaya saano suuqa u fiirinaya gabadha Soomaalida ayadoo xitaa laga yaabo hadiisan luqad aqoonin waa galaysa wiilka Soomaaliyeed sidoo kale maamooyinka kurjada lacaga u yaalo waxbay aruursanayaan waxa soo dhan ma aha inay wadanka dhaceene waxay yaqaanaan sida wadankan looga shaqeystay yaqaan dib casar sidoo u hadlay nixirli ka waran wallahi waa sheeko fiican waa dib casar horta xaaji dib casar ninka la dhaho waa inaan salaama ninkaas wallahi waa gees ma u jeedin marka qaarkood xogaa uu iska taraaraxa qabiil waxyaabo ka sheekeeya laakiin dib casar diinta horta waa yaqaanaa ogaadaya ninkaas si fiican oo diinta u yaqaanaa sidoo kale wuxuu yaqaanaa ninkaas nin wax bartay waa macallin oo ahaan jira macallimiinta iska ilaaliya macallimiinta qatar waa macallimiinta waxay yaqaanaan sheekada si loo wareejiyo kuwii xumaayo kaamarada watay ay mideen ciyaalka yariska ahay wuxuu yiri horta adinka wadankee ka soo jeedino yiri wadankoodii ay sheegeen wadamada ka yimideen oo sheegay waa intuu ka rabe wuxuu rabaa ajaanib ka dhig rabaa fiiriya wala dib asar aqliga ku jiro jawaashigi yaa idin soo diro yiri ayaga see warka loo waday maxay idin soo dirtay Israa'iil idin soo dirtay intayaama idin soo dirtay ku celceliye mar xitaa wuxuu ka keenay anaga waa kugu raacsanahay dheheen inta yaahu hada soo diray meeqosi $7,000 afkooda ka keenay haye xitaa waa ugu sii dariyay yuhuud ma tihiin oo yiri adinka ha ay dheheen mid ay aabahay ay kula or ninkan warkuus asaga loo yimid in la wareysto maray dheheen xitaa kulaha kaamarooyinka iska daminayna kulaha meesha shaah ka cabno dabcan ma waxaas lagu dhaqa waa nin qamarji way yaqaan waxa lagu meesha loo socdo markuu rabana markii xogaa iska walwaali maagaane diinta ku quraanka ku aqrinaya no quraanka markuu ku aqriyo waa yaabayn horta because quraanka waxa ku jira awood ruubiyo dadka qalbigooda ku furaya moogta wallahi billahi ninka la yiraahdo dab casr adinka waa dheelsanaysiin waxay noqonaysaa taariikhi u galaysaa Columbus dambe horta magaalada yiraahdo Columbus dab casr u joogo cid u soo dhawaanaysa ari hadda marka mid idin sheegaa أنا دب عسر ميه وإقل جنسيها أضيقاس لكن سيدي سوكالي أيان ربع عند إلهي التصور تواجر عمالن كستا إسلا ضدنا هرت ميلاني إيسو قلان دربيدي إيقصو دعان لكن ميدا إذين شاقا دور أيقاها لوق إيسو قلو قاركود وادرا والله أيقو استبدليان درا قاركود حتى أو حالقا يابا فيديو ياشي إني شارقريان أو أي دهان وكو رعسنا والله إناني إذين شاقيني بين كوا أني إعنانن جري وانا دقالي جري هادا أني إتاقيرسن way dhacdaa wallahi dhowr xabo sababta ma taqaana qaarkood si sax fiican u la hadlaa qaarkood waa caaya وإدب دريهن وحان كده قاركودنا وكو كفتما وكو كجما وحان ده ديكير مدا ده ديكير كنت كنت تقول هاي جو حريف ماشان hey Joe you said Somali garbage did you look that in the I think you're looking at the mirror and you seeing that حريف ماشان هدو حناقسين هو فيرسنو يا اساس كان mid kale idin sheegaya algorithm qaabka meesha u shaqeeyo aniga nimankan 2 bilood ka hor amal aan dagaalka isku bilaawna macnaha dagaalka saxda ah wali anaga sanada is dagaalowna laakiin dagaalka weyn waxay ugu soo qaadeen 2 bilood ka hor waa fiiriyay si tartiib ah ula hadashid si dabacsan raxariis la badan ma shaqeynayso laakiin waxaan sameeyaa wacayaano waxaan dhahaa waxay sheegaan laba jibaarkooda sheegaa sababtoo ah quraankan way ku jirtaa wajazaa'u sayyi'atin mithlaha maanta aad hadii qashin lagu haayo adi ina faafaanisid ama ina istadajisid waxba maaha waxaan ku dhahay Mareykanka faraad baa sheegtay ha Mareykanka baa faraadka dhan keenaya baraha wadankan waa wadanka oo musuqmaasuq dhan ku dhismay kuwa xanaaqeen wallahi waa nixay waa qaraacmeen ha saw qaraacmaysi muujidiina dhaha laakiin annaka wana dhihi kartiya annaka dhan ina dadkeena dhan ina qashin ku tilmaamtiin waa idin saxsaneed naftirkooda way isceebsanayaan marka waa la xanuunjiyaa waxaa jira hadda nin governor ka ah ama soo gobernator ka ah gobolka California ninkaas wuu karbaashaano maalin alla keena warkii ayaga dhahaan loo u bedelaa ujeeda garaad waa ku salaamay Cabdicasiis sidoo kale akhyaarta kulli waa wada mahadsantihiin bal sheer gareeya barnaamijkaano meel dheer nala gaarsiiyay ma la dhihi jiray ana waxaad xitaa ma aqoon jiray hadda la bara meel dheer gaarsiiyay ha shaashada garaac horta ma aqaan hadii laga faa'iido shaashada garaac maxaa laga wadaa ilaa hadda ma aqaan ya waxaas in ku mashquulsanay waxaan ku mashquulsanahay aniga maagada iyo idab daradooda ani ayagana aragtiya naga dhaxayso ani ayaga ila waxaan isdaba taaganahay wallahi muddo dheer maagadan oo la aasin kuwa waxaa jiri jirtay la dhihi jiray ma xasuusitid tea party ko la dhihi jiray tea party waa kuwii Obama la soo dagaalami jiray kuwaas la dagaalami jiray aniga iska dhicin jiray kuwa kale oo kasii horeeyna way jireen oo waagi oo Bush oo dhihi jiray and you are with us or against us waan la jirtaa waan naga soo jeedaa kuwaas waxaan la soo dagaalamayaan ku dhaaniga Michael Medved kula dhaho iyo Michael Savage mid la dhaho iyo mid Larson la dhaho iyo xitaa odagii dhintay oo la dhihi jiray Rush Limbaugh waa hadda kor showgiisa wuu jiray dadkan waqti waxaan isla soo marnay meel dheer kuwan hadda waa quluqluqad waa hadda waa kuwan waa snack yihiin snack ilaan kuwan waxay og yihiin abskeer kuwii hor xoga aqli lahaayeen dad doodi kare ahaayeen dad waxay ahaayeen oo iska ka dhicinay runtii ruuxa hadda waa u dhamaad qashin waayba hadda koofiya soo gashanaysa halka koofiya 700 oo comment ka bixinaya anigana sida jambalka loogu tuuraan bartay AI bahashil dhahayna waa bartay AI hadda awada mar aan marka ka baxo meeshan 20 video oo ay ka dhan 2 daqiiqo iga qaadanahan ku soo tuuraa 20kaas video awada dhan la dagaalamay 20kaas video awada dhan la dagaalamaya waxay ku leeyihiin AI waay ku ay dhaha AI waay waaba ogahay AI ga kas waaybe maanto dhan 20 comment ka sameynayaan leeyihiin tan waa AI ya mujeda wallahi billah kuwan jambala loo tuuraa waqtiga laga dhumeeyaa hada inbox markay ku soo galaan anigana waxay leeyihiin oo lacagta inta ka sameysay war day keeraan ka sameeyaan leeyahay meeqaad sameysay leeyihiin marka 5 bilyan stop lying ha hay hada stop lying waxay iga tala galaan leeyihiin aniga way caayinayaan commentiga inaan waxay rabaan aan ka dhigo disable ana lacag ka sameeynayo commentigooda maxaa koofiyan u soo gashtay commentiga ka bixiyeen lacag leen ka sameeyna commentigooda lacag ka sameeyna waana ogyihiin waxna ma ka qaadi karaan ciil ahaayo mis cili karaan ma is control karaan waa inay ka comment gareeyaan inay dhahaana jirto maxaa la yiraahdaa noqo maxaa la yiraahdaa waxa guursatay your cousin haye mase walaasha waxa si jecel ayaga lagu caaya mogta wixii ayaga lagu caayin jiray waxa la yiraahdaa qofka doqonta wixii casarka lagu caayay dadka cishii ku caaysa ma maqash wixii ayaga lagu caayin jiray oo dhan ee hadda kugu caayinayaan fraudkan ay sheegayaan ayaga waa jeclaanahan wallahi qaarkood fraudka inay ku kici karaan weeyaa laakiin doqomo fraud xitaa ma yaqaanaan si loo sameeyo fraud xitaa ma yaqaanaan marka waa salaama akhyaarta danahayga raacanaya waa mahadsantihiin marka sidaas iyo insha Allah waa isku soo noqon doonaa